And the important thing is not the destination. A small island, Ithaca. The important thing is what you learn in the journey. And the decisions you take in the journey. Mr. President, Excellencies, first of all, allow me to thank the chair and the participants of the first panel. That made me leave my speech, the few pages I prepared in my handbag there, and I wrote some new thoughts, which I would like to share with you. The first thought is that, the first thing I wanted to say is that it's my second time in Ohrid. And my first time was here as a speaker on a conference on corporate governance. And corporate governance has to do with transparency. And the best way, one of the best tools, one of the best instruments to fight corruption is indeed corporate governance. And in those days, being a member of the Council of the Federation of European Stock Exchanges, I insisted that this conference takes place in the Balkans. And we chose Ohrid. And leaders of the financial community met here. And we discussed extensively the issue of corporate governance. The second thing that I wanted to share at this point is that I'm not a politician by choice. One day, the late President Glidis called me late at night. He asked me, Nondas, what are you doing? I'm telling him, Mr. President, I'm getting ready to go to bed. He said, if you are not with your pajamas, come to my office. I went to his office. He told me, you are getting this ministry. I was shocked. And I told him, Mr. President, you honor me a lot about this, but I don't want it. What I want from you is to let me finish my initiatives. I had an initiative on introducing corporate governance, and we have a number of initiatives on aligning Cyprus legislation with the acquis communautaire, because in those days we are contemplating how to become a member of the European Union. And in those days, it seemed totally and absolutely possible for Cyprus to become a member of the European Union. Today we are. How did we do it? It was because we took certain initiatives. And what I would like to stress is that you don't have to be a politician to take initiatives. You can be in the financial sector. You can be a journalist. You can be anywhere to become a leader. You can be a religious leader. Leadership is not limited to political leadership. And with some friends, we took the initiative of having our president, our government, and working very hard to align our legislation and our institutions to those of the European Union. So when the right moment came, and it came, we were ready. We were there, and there was no reason to say no. Our institutions, our financial system was in total alignment with the acquis communautaire. And most of the chapters, when we opened them, they were very easy to close because most of the work has already been done. Not only this, before being in the European Union, we took initiatives. The issue of the corporate governance was seated here in Ohrid. And we took it from there, and now it's essential for companies to list in major capital markets to have a corporate governance code. And they are forced to be transparent, to know who is in the board, to know who is taking the decisions, to know the benefits of the decisions to those who are taking the decisions. And what impressed me, I studied back in the 80s the Irish example. Ireland is a small country in the most eastern side of Europe. And yet I was showing, when I was reading and studying what was going on in various countries, a very influential rate of growth. So I went there. And what did I see? The Irish have created institutions for encouraging leadership, for encouraging growth, for encouraging financing of the companies, because it's one thing encouraging leaders, and it's another thing giving them the instruments of successfully performing their role. And the Irish has shown something very, very noteworthy. And most of the institutions, when I went back to my country, we copied them. We established an industrial training authority. We established an IDA, they call Industrial Development Authority. We established a development bank. So it's not enough to say good words about or wishful thinking. We need leaders. We have to create the institutions which make the leaders, which assist the leaders in performing their task. In all areas, in politics, in finance, and there is always a place for these initiatives. And every effort, when I was many years ago, a teenager, many years ago, I used to read Odyssey. And the first time, I was obliged to read it in classical Greek. I did not understand anything. The second time, my English got better, so I read it in English. And I started understanding many of the things that were there. And then later on, I read it in my own language. And then I understood, and the important thing is not the destination, a small island, Ithaca. The important thing is what you learn in the journey. And the decisions you take in the journey. If the hero of Odyssey stopped when he found the first difficulties, he could stay with the nice women he met. He could stay in the nice places he met. Nobody would have known him. But he fought to go back to his little island, to his small island, just on time. And I'm saying this that just as concluding remark. The important thing is to start the journey, to develop the leaders. And we have to help the leaders, and we have to encourage them, because in their trip, there will be disappointments. But the society, our duty is to give them the strength to perform their duty. And as citizens, and as people who want peace, we have to help anybody who believes in our same ideas, in culture and diplomacy. And I strongly believe that countries like yours, it is time for all us to press together for their European membership. Europe is a melting pot, and European institutions force everybody to change for the better. But not only this, they give us the chance to work together for the change. Thank you very much.